Are you new to thrifting? If so, make sure you start here before you go. Hi sweet friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Justina. I create home decorating, DIY home improvement, DIY crafting, and lifestyle related videos. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys the essential tips you need to know to start thrifting. If you've been with me for a while, you know I love to create a sophisticated, elegant style in my home without spending a lot of money. And sometimes we forget about the things from the past that may not be useful to someone else anymore, but could really fit beautifully into our lives or into our decor and be something that we can treasure for a very long time. So even given my explanation, you still might be wondering, well, why thrift? Well, I'll share with you some reasons why I think that thrifting is a wonderful thing to do. First, you can find unique pieces that you cannot find in the store, especially if you have a decor style that's not trendy right now. When you buy secondhand, you can also find pieces that are of better quality. And you know, the old adage, they just don't make things like they used to, I think that's really true. The other awesome thing about thrifting is that it's good for our planet. So if you're environmentally conscious, or if you're just trying not to have as much waste in your life, thrifting is really wonderful because it's a way to save things from landfills. It's a way to repurpose items. And the other reason why you should go thrifting, it's fun. If you love to shop, you might love thrifting. I actually don't like to shop. I'm an online shopper or not at all. But thrifting is something where there's no pressure. If you find something, it's exciting, it's unexpected. And if you don't find anything, well, you didn't spend any money. So examples of thrift stores are Salvation Army, Goodwill, or stores that actually say thrift on them. A consignment shop, on the other hand, they have a more specific criteria for their shops. Their pieces are also more expensive. But at a consignment store, you're going to see things that are specifically curated for that store. So why would you choose going to one over the other? Well, a consignment shop is great if you're looking for, say, high-end clothing, vintage pieces that you can't find anywhere else, or if you're looking for really upscale, high-value items. Thrift stores are more hit or miss. There's no guarantee that you're going to find what you want there. But a thrift store can be very fun, and I have a lot of fun thrifting. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using the words secondhand and thrifting interchangeably, but I'm talking about both consignment and thrift. So let's not get caught up in the semantics. Let's just talk about what you need to know before you go secondhand shopping or thrifting. Okay, first, this should be fairly obvious, although I am guilty of not doing this half of the time, and that is make sure you have room in your car. Sometimes you will just see a piece that you're like, I need to have that. And in fact, that happened to me just a few months ago. I found a table and chair set with rosettes on them that I had to buy. I mean, I had to get it, and it was only $35. And I had to stuff it in my car because I still had my car seat in the back and the stroller, but I made it fit, and I have a small car. So make sure you have enough room in your car in case you find a piece, a large piece that you've always wanted or that you just can't say no to. Next, make sure that you have a reusable shopping bag or a basket or something to put your items in, because sometimes, especially at thrift stores like Goodwill, there aren't a lot of carts, or the carts are very wonky, or at my local Goodwill, the carts are sometimes really dirty. So you want to make sure that you have a bag that can either be used as a shopping bag as you're shopping, or you can use it, of course, when you're leaving as a reusable shopping bag. Okay, next, make sure you look for the sale signs as soon as you walk in. Both at consignment stores and at thrift stores, they always have a sign somewhere or a couple of signs, and usually they're by color, and the color will tell you how much of a sale there is. So keep in mind those signs, and what I like to do is I take a picture of the sign, and then as I shop, I can go back so I don't have to keep remembering what colors are what level of sale. So I take a picture of the sign when I walk in, and then I can just refer to that when I see what color the price tag is on the item that I'm interested in. Also, at the checkout counter, ask if there's any special discounts. A lot of thrift stores have senior discounts, student discounts. They're often running sales during the week that you might not know about. So make sure that you ask, because if you don't ask, you'll never know. Are you finding this video informative? If so, please remember to hit that like button before you leave, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you're not subscribed already. I'd love to have you. try to look at items not just for what they are on the shelf, but what they can be in your life and in your home. How can you transform that item? How can you reuse or repurpose that item? Try to envision that item in your life. That oftentimes helps me when I see something that I recognize has value, or I recognize that I am attracted to it, but sometimes I just have to take a step back, open my mind, and think, how am I going to use this item in my life? Next, look for things like quality materials, good lines, and also turn items over and see if you can recognize the manufacturer on the item. I always have my phone. I think most of us have our phones now, and you can actually type the information, the manufacturer's information of an item into Google, and it'll tell you if it's a vintage piece, if it holds some value. And of course, you shouldn't go thrifting just to find items of value, but that's one of my criteria. I do like to find items that are valuable and are of good quality. So I would say definitely keep that in mind when you're shopping. Okay, next is to have some criteria. A lot of times when you go into a thrift store, it's difficult to stay focused because there are so many items. Sometimes things are organized by color or what type of item it is, but sometimes things are just kind of placed on shelves. And so if you have some criteria, it helps you to stay focused and not to become distracted by all of the other things that you're seeing. It's so easy to go into a thrift store and see, for example, a huge box of all different kinds of vintage prints, and it could take you an hour to go through all of those prints, and then you wouldn't buy any of them because that's not what you went there for. But it's very interesting to look at. So if you keep your criteria in mind, it helps you just to refocus yourself and not get too distracted with everything else that's going on in the store. Next, never walk past an item you may want. You guys, I learned this the hard way at Habitat for Humanity's Restore years ago when I first started shopping there. There was a chair that I really, really wanted, and I think it was only $15, and it was beautiful. I had my purse, I sat on the chair, and I was like, I'm buying this chair. I'm buying this chair. I'm just waiting for my husband to come back in because he was looking at something else. Well, a lady walked right over to me, smiled in my face, and she stuck her sold sign right on the chair. So that's how I learned my lesson. Even if you're not 100% sure that you like or want the item, put it in your basket, put it in your cart, and if it's a furniture piece, try to get somebody to stand with it and say that you're buying it, because if you don't, someone may snatch it up. If you snooze, you'll lose. What I like to do is I like to wait until the person starts to walk away, and then I grab the item really fast. I don't like to be totally rude. Don't take anything right out of somebody's hands, but definitely if you want an item, grab it before it goes. Okay, next, consider going to thrift and consignment stores in the nicest, most upscale neighborhoods near you. And there's a practical reason for that. Those stores are going to be getting the donations from people who live closest to them. So if you have a consignment shop or a thrift store that's near a very nice neighborhood in your town, go to that one, because that one's going to have a lot nicer items than another one. And finally, think about the time of year. Now, I think it's always a good time of year to go secondhand shopping, thrifting, and going to consignment shops. But the best times to go are January and summertime. And the reasons why is because a lot of people in January are trying to organize their homes. They've gotten a lot of new things for Christmas time. Their homes are packed with items, and they are trying to purge. So January is an excellent time of year to go thrifting. The next time of year that's great to go is summer, because there's a lot of back to school sales, believe it or not, and people are trying to clean out their homes in the summertime too and get ready for school and get ready for vacations and all of those things. So summertime is a really great time to go as well. But I like to go about once a month just to see what they have. I always have my criteria. I don't like to spend a lot of money, and I can come home with a bag full of beautiful items for $8, $10. And the other thing that I'd like to say with that is when you're purging your home is a great time to go thrifting. So what I try to do is that once a month, when I go thrifting, I try to at least bring one big box of things that I want to donate from my own home with me. So I go to the donations, I make my donation, and then I go shopping. So that about wraps up the things I think you need to know before you go thrifting. If you like this video, please remember to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed already, please consider joining our YouTube family. And if you are subscribed, will you consider sharing this video with a friend? So I have a question for you guys. Have you ever gone thrifting? And if so, what is your all-time favorite find? Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
You were my best friend. Didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid.